Tobin, when I break down a play or film for you,
Yes, sir.
I always give you multiple options and adjustments either during the play or after.
You're a film buffet.
For example, Eli Apple at some point will always get double moved. But first they're gonna hit him with like 3 slants.
Mm-hmm.
So he get comfortable thinking he could jump that slant, right? That's an adjustment. For the last 4 years, I've been watching the same deep square in out of this offense, throwing it to that open area. And if that is taken away, it almost seems like there's nowhere else to go. And I'm just curious as to, I told you what I would do. In order to change that up, I would take a couple of plays where I put Tyreek and Waddle on the same side of the ball.
Okay.
And then have one run of shallow, one run of deep. And what it does is that guy who drops way down in the back of the middle of the field, whether it's a rush in, a linebacker, or whatever, they're just dropping to that area where Tua's going to throw that deep cross. Now they got to sit a little bit because that crossing route's coming underneath, right? They don't ever run trips. The only time they run trips, which is 3 receivers to one side, is when they run that stupid bubble screen. Why not run a route off of that? Why not run a go route, a crossing route, a deep end? Like, put some pressure on the defense. So when every team plays the Dolphins, they are only stopping one pass. You're either going to throw the little bubble screen or you can run the deep square in, right? There has been no deviation from that, no setup to that. I got to tell you, how about Tyreek go run like he's running a square in and then go over the top and then chuck it deep down the middle of the field? Like, there's so many other ways that just starting with that basic concept, you can adjust to it.
Well,
And most offenses have either built-in contingency plans or they have plays that you can go to if you see them playing a certain play a certain way. It seems like every time there's a pick, every time that it's always in the same area. You ever notice that?
yeah.
Every
Well, I
pick is
mean,
in the middle of the field trying to throw that deep cross.
did you hear? I mean, like, I thought, because you talked about this yesterday during the break. He was doing demonstrations. I don't know. I got Leroy demonstrations in the studio, and then I get home yesterday, and Xavier Howard is basically saying, "Yeah, we're like the whole book on Tua," because he was basically saying we put Tua in panic mode yesterday, but we also, the whole. I told him like we're gonna clog the middle of the field against him.
Right. They've
Here
been
was
doing it for 2 years.
Here's Xavier Howard yesterday.
So you mentioned you gave the offense some tips earlier leading up to it. Did you see any of that like come to fruition for sure? Like something you told them, you're like, see that we made a big play off of that. Did you see any of that?
Yeah, we knew. It's a lot of a bang, quick throws in the middle. So I told them, man, clog the middle and make sure they throw the ball outside. And we clogged the middle and I think we got 2 interceptions by clogging the middle, and guys come up with interceptions.
Like, you know what? I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Tua has never had a pass that was thrown like J.J. McCarthy did last night, where it was a pick six. They don't even run routes out there. They don't even run outs.
Mm-mm.
They don't run comebacks. Dude, from an offensive player watching that game, it is the most baffling thing to me in the world that you think other guys getting paid millions of dollars to stop you, that you have not adjusted to any of that in 4 years. I haven't seen different combinations. I haven't seen him move like Waddle's on one side, two emotions, or Tyreek motions over, or does the quick thing around the outside, and they throw the quick pass to him. Or it's like, I know the whole offense. I could go in there right now, and you could call a play, and I could run it without knowing any terminology or whatever, because I understand all their concepts. I'm not a defensive player. So what do you think the defense is doing?
Here
I
was
mean, Xavier Howard is not wrong in
no,
what he's saying,
and he
because
knows.
they threw a pick to a Russian because they zone blitzed them. They dropped that Russian in the middle of the field, and you threw it right to him.
Here was more of Xavier Howard saying what they did to basically put Tua in panic mode.
Can you tell when a quarterback is confused and flustered? Because, Tua was patting the ball at times,
Most definitely. We knew the guy, he get the ball out pretty quick. And once we take away his first read, I feel like it's panic mode after that. And it showed yesterday, man. We took away his first read, and he was trying to get rid of the ball real quick.
There you go. Xavier Howard speaking to the media yesterday.
So think about this. And let me put it to you from just, if I can make it as simple as possible. Tua's biggest claim to fame is he gets rid of the ball quick.
Yep.
Right? So basically what you're doing is you're making the defense say, okay, how quick is he get rid of the ball? 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. Okay. Where's that deep route coming in? Is coming in at 2.5 seconds, 2 seconds. Get in that window, make him hold it for 3 seconds. We think we can get past that offensive line before he can look somewhere else. Or in most cases, he's not even looking anywhere else, because there's not what I was explaining to you yesterday, that every pass pattern that I've ever run has had a combination to it. So that means that you flash in front of a defender, he looks at you, right? For example, I give you a perfect example. You remember what happened to the linebacker in the Miami game? He was chasing the tight end, and somebody flashed in front of him, and he bit on it and left the tight end wide open on the sideline for Notre Dame 2 weeks ago.
Notre Dame. Okay. Yeah.
2 weeks ago. You remember that? And I told you that he should have stayed with his guy, because that would have hurt him. But somebody flashed in front of him, and defenders see that flash, and all they got to take is one wrong step. That's combination routes. I don't see any of that.
We'll just have a regular old second hour coming up next. This feels strange. Feels strange to start off an hour late. Appropriate song, though.
Very appropriate.
Very appropriate. Welcome on in, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 104.3 FM WQAM. We take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Of course, still licking our wounds last night, or 2 nights ago, with the Miami Dolphins getting their snot kicked out of them by the Colts. Last night in Monday Night Football, big comeback by Leroy's boy, J.J. McCarthy.
Hey,
you
know what?
Bears.
It is nothing better than watching a guy struggle early in the game and then get it going. That was the cool part of it. And even Caleb looks better. I know one thing. You remember he overthrew that guy in the corner, the fade at the end of the game where he had his hand up?
Yep.
A veteran quarterback would have threw a dart right in that gap and sat the receiver down. You know what I mean? Because you try to throw that arc, you giving the safety a chance to get over there. So what do they call it? The honey hole? You want to zip it in there.
We had no honey. We had no honey.
When was the last? How about this? Think about this. I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time Tua threw a ball deep down the sideline?
I don't know. I know that there's a stat yesterday was apparently 365 days since Tyreek Hill caught a 30-yard or more pass, which
Yeah.
he hadn't done since the Jaguars game.
First game
And keep in mind when him and here's the weird thing about that. When he was catching those passes, it wasn't necessarily a 30-yard pass, but him and Waddle would catch that crossing route about 5-10 yards and be 88 out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
But there were connections that were deep. Like it wasn't like non-existent like it has been. It feels like the offense has been in jail the last year.
But I would say that it's pretty weird that you don't put, and especially if a team's in cover 2, right? You want to know the best cover 2 defense is if you want to get rid of all those linebackers dropping in the middle of the field. You put 2 guys on one side, you want a go route, and then you run a square in. So you hold in that safety. That's it. That's it.
There's a problem with the offense, guys.
The problem is that every offense that I've played on, even the bad ones, okay, during the week, you have an idea of what a defense's adjustment is going to be. And then you come up with some plays to counter that. You don't necessarily go to them right away. You go with your bread and butter. But if they do what you think they're going to do or some version of that, you have an adjustment to that locked and loaded that you could go to next series or next set of plays.
I think he doesn't adjust at all. And here's the other part.
I don't know if they have. Look, in order to adjust, you got to have adjustments. Like, I don't see different plays. Their adjustment is bubble screen.
That's a Tobinism.
That's words means words.
That was a Tobinism.
I think that was great. I love that. In order to adjust, you need adjustments.
Right. But you got to have something you got to go to.
Well, I think it's SDI asked a question that I think is fair. He goes, "You don't think the coaches have thought of this? It's because the QB can't make those throws."
And that,
but okay. Wait a minute. I made a perfect listen. When Mike McDaniel first came in, they were throwing balls deep down the sideline. They were throwing comebacks. They were throwing all of these routes, right? And then they were running that deep square. And the reason why it was so open then is because you had all these different routes that you were running. So one or two things happened. Tua's arm got progressively worse, right? You lost faith in your offensive line.
Oh, that's
been there.
That's always that.
Okay. And let's there's a lot of quarterbacks in the league that can't move. So let's not put that on that. Okay.
Yeah, no, but Leroy, now in this, especially early in the season, from what I was watching these games, if your quarterback can't extend a play or he can't like run to get a first down, because if you see a lot of these defenders, a lot of defenses are going with the playmakers outside. So there's a lot of space.
It's rare these days now, man. Like even who had problems with it? Yes, because it's not natural to him, and you could see it in the game. Was Cam? Cam, he likes to sit in that pocket and kind of move around, and he's got
it was fire drill.
It was crazy for him, and so you saw yesterday. Like, look at McCarthy. Like he's out there moving.
Well, he's mobile. He can run. He can run.
Caleb's out there scooting. Like,
look at that throw.
And I here's the thing with Tua, right? Like Tua already wasn't mobile. He already wasn't. And I don't like Tua running. Like, I've been clear about this because I don't think that's a recipe for success. He gets hurt too much. But like, he's not only Leroy. I mean, at what point we see this all the time with players, like, do the injuries catch up? He's coming off of another hip injury last year.
Right.
When he already said the one in college made him never the same. Like he's just never been that same mover. So I
understand all of this. And I understand, but let me just say this. You don't have to be fast to be able to move. Okay.
Right. He's not even.
Because here's why. Because in his mind, they want him to get rid of the ball quicker for whatever reason.
Right.
And so you gotta because look, I'm thinking about his first year as a quarterback. He may have gotten sacked a lot, he may have gotten hit a lot, but the plays that they were running were so much different than what they're doing now with less talent.
But I'm asking you because you mentioned about the arm getting worse, and he seems like because he's not big, like, and he's never, but like a lot of that's been from torque and hip. Like, is it possible that like is it not as strong as it was?
I don't know. You got to have a pretty strong arm to get that ball in the middle of the field without 20 guys running into it.
Let's get to our headlines brought to you by Doral Kia. Doral Kia, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Kia or at DoralKia.com.
Pricito? I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. Dolphins yesterday. Mike McDaniel said that James Daniel's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks. A report came out from ESPN afterwards that says it's going to be more like 3 to 4 for their starting right guard.
Well, what is a couple?
A couple is two, but
no,
you know,
he didn't want to go on. He didn't want here.
I didn't see.
Let me tell you. Let me say how simple this is. He didn't want to say a few.
Yeah.
So he said a couple.
He said a couple, but I didn't see him swear on a Bible before he got up to that podium. So
that's why the best word to use there is several.
Week to week.
Several could be
right.
It can mean more than 2 or just 2.
Storm Duck also going to be out multiple weeks, and Austin Jackson is getting his toe looked at,
which means he's probably going to need toe surgery.
Awesome.
Which is the worst.
Mm.
So, I mean, like we can put all these things on what the offense looks like. And let me just say this. Timing is more important than arm strength. So Tua supposedly didn't have a strong arm when he got here. But he seemed to hit Tyreek on the sideline wide ass open.
Right.
And so what I'm saying to you is, when was the last time you saw Tyreek run a go route and not a square in or crossing or a bubble screen?
It's been a while.
So explain to me.
But that's why I thought what you said about his arm was fascinating, because like 2 years ago is that's multiple injuries ago.
Yeah.
So like, is it possible he just doesn't got the juice like he used to?
And this is why I said this. Quarterbacks that don't have the strongest arms rely more on the timing of the throw than the act. Like, we all think that a go route is thrown when a guy gets 40, 50 yards down the field. It's not. That ball's in the air when he's about 20, 25 yards down the field.
Mm-hmm.
So the timing is more important than the arm strength. And that's the whole point. I played with a guy who didn't have a strong arm. And I used to make fun of Bernie all the time. And I said, you got to throw that thing yesterday, but it's always where it needs to be.
But Bernie could move.
No, what?
Bernie wasn't. I mean, Bernie could like move.
Dude, look. No, he couldn't. One of the biggest arguments. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, as a rookie, I got onto the field because I could pass block. We had a play. I'm blocking my ass. I got this dude hemmed up. I'm feeling so good about him. I'm chasing him. I'm pushing him or whatever. Boom. Bernie rolls out, throws it in the ground. I'm on my back. He reaches over to me and he pulls me up and he says, hey, if I'm scrambling, get open because I ain't running. I promise you, I caught more little dink passes because of that. And everybody thought that it was like some type. No, my quarterback told me, give him a couple of seconds, and if not, get open. So, like, yeah, but you have to have that. You got to understand what's going on. Bernie was not a guy. He sat in the pocket. I saw this man get sacked. If you go look it up, I think he got sacked 60 or 70 times in one season.
Oh, I got to check that out.
He got destroyed. So when you say Bernie was mobile, no, he wasn't.
J-Fig has a stash of Hardy tickets in her
More mobile than
boots.
Tua.
Well, that's not a high bar. And we're giving you a chance to win when Hardy brings his Jim Bob tour to the I Think Financial Amphitheater on September 20th with special guests Cole Wetzel,
You got it right.
Steven Wilson Jr., and Sicarus. Keep on listening to us for details on how you can win. It's a Live Nation show. For more info, go to the contest page at WQAM.com. Take a break. Back after this.